I am reading from Change My Relationship 365 Daily Devotions for Christians in Difficult Relationships. And this is my devotional, and this is my last day of my Christmas reading for you. This is December 25th, and it is titled The Gift of Hope. It says, "For in this world we were saved, but hope that is seen is no hope at all. Who hopes for what they already have? But if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently." And that's Romans 8:24 through 25. As much as we would like to be set free from the effects of sin, we are not. Romans 8:22 through 25 tells us that the whole creation groans and suffers as if in childbirth, and that we too are waiting for our adoption as sons and daughters. Our hope isn't in this world. It isn't in what we see or even in what we have yet experienced as Christians. It is found only in what we will have, that for which we wait, the redemption of our bodies and the restoration of a sinful world. God also sees a world full of sin and pain. He too patiently waits. His plan of redemption cost him dearly, as it cost him his son. May you focus on the hope yet to come and what your expectations, taking into consideration that the world is still affected by sin and suffering and will be until Christ returns. I think that more than anything for me in this year, the second year of COVID, the word that summed up how God ministered to me and how I handled the stresses was to keep my eyes focused on the hope of future with God, hope of future with Christ, hope of Christ's return to a broken world full of problems, full of stress. I mean, there's so many things this year that happened to indicate that we are closer to the time of Christ's return as fulfillment of prophecy and the things that were happening to make us feel like, wow, things are moving toward that time when talking about I can't fly without a vaccine or I can't go buy something without a vaccine. I mean, that's not the Antichrist mark. That's not the mark of the beast. That's not, but that's just, it's so different from what we're used to, especially those of us that are in free countries, to see the whole world going toward that direction is just a reminder that there's just as there was a plan for Jesus to be born that was prophesied in the Old Testament, there was, and it was fulfilled, there is also prophecy in the Old Testament and the New Testament about God's plan for Jesus's return and his return to earth and the new heavens and the new earth and all of the things that scripture tells us. And when we see these things happening, rather than getting to a place of despair and a place of fear and a place of worry, we need to be encouraged and we need to look up and we need to put our hope on God and his eternal purposes and his promises and the things that he has for us while we live day by day fully in this life, in our relationships, working toward a future, doing all the things that God has called us to do as he's called us to live those lives fully productive and engaged every single day that we're here. The prayer says, God, help me to remember that I live in a world full of sin and brokenness, so I will understand why I continue to experience pain. We do live in a world of sin and brokenness, so having expectations that things are going to be great and we're not going to have problems is not realistic. And that is true even on Christmas Day, to recognize that, no, it's not a perfect world. We may try to have a perfect Christmas. I've never had a perfect Christmas. There's always been some type of family dynamic or issue or thing that made it seem like, it never has been a Hallmark card Christmas. And that's okay, because that reminds me that that's not what it's about. It's fun to watch the movies, but that's not what real life is about. So my wish for you is that you would find hope, that you would have hope in God's plan to bring his son into the world, and hope in God's plan for his future redemption for us each individually, and for the world, and for his church. So I just pray God's blessings on you this holiday. I pray that you would have a as wonderful a night as you possibly can, but fix your eyes on the place that our true hope is, not on our families, not on our relationships, not on our circumstances, but on God and on his future redemption and his future plan. Okay, God bless.